We're going to start with Book 2, lines 40 to 56. Primus is an adjective that modifies the subject lacun. So primus ibi, ante omnis, this is going to be everyone, because it's talking about people. Here's an ablative absolute, magna caterva comitante. This is a present ablative, so with magna cartawa comitantine, make sure it ends with ing. The Ardennes, again, this is a present participle, so this is going to be ing. The Ardenzin laukun decurit ab summa arca. Et procul. And there's no verb for saying here, but you can either put one in parentheses or just translate et procul and have a quote marks. So we have o miseri civis. That's who he's talking to. O miseri civis. Quae tanta insania. No verb again, which means our verb is going to be here. So some form of the verb to be. Creditis that. You know that credo is a verb that takes the dative case, and neither of these are dative, so it has to go to report of speech. Creditis that the hostes avectos essa aut putatis that ulla dona carrera the dolis of Danuam. And as we go through here, you'll come across quite a few names for the Greeks, and this happens to be one of them. Sic notus elixis. Again, no verb. Yeah, I would say was for this particular to be verb. Here we have ought. The first one's going to be either. The second one's going to be or. And then we go on to some more ors, but let's get these two, since they work so wonderfully with either or. So either the archivi, and this is another name for the Greeks. Inclusi is an adjective that modifies archivi. So the inclusi archivi are occultantur by hoc ligno. Usually with the past we use by. In might work much more easily here. We use either one. Or haec machina fabricata est in nostros muros. And you notice one of the effects that Vergil does here. He will have your adjectives far away from the nouns they modify, and the verbs tucked into prepositional phrases and all sorts of fun things. So you really have to pay very close attention to the endings on the words. Here we have inspectura and ventura, and this is the future active participle acting as a C-point. So we're just going to say to. To inspecto domos and to, oh, why don't I put these in red so you know it's a verb, and is translated as a verb, and to ventura, herby, de super. Herby there is a dative case. I think it acts as a locative, even though it's not a proper name of a city. It says a dative, in the book it says dative of direction, but it could just as easily be using the locative. Or aliquis, error, and don't use air for this, use a better word, latit. Ne credite equo taucri. So equo is our direct object because we know that credite takes the dative case as its direct object. This is a command. So ne credite equo taucri. And this is who he's talking to. And here we have another name for Trojans. Quid id est timeo danos et, use even here, it's going to be the adverb, even ferentes, it's an adjective modifying daneos, and ferentes is the present participle, so again it's ing, Greeks, ferentes, dona. This is actually a secondary direct objects because dona ferentes is your first direct object, and then dona is the direct object of the ferentes. So here's the beginning of the next sentence. I forgot to capitalize this. Sorry about that. Fatus, it comes from a verb, and it really amazes me your book doesn't have this glossed for you. It comes from the verb for, spelled F-O-R, and it is a deponent verb, and it means speak. So this is having spoken. So thus, having spoken. And let's get our subjects in here. He. That's our subject. Contorsit. He contorsit. Ingentem hostem. Eualidis viribus is a prepositional phrase, ablative of means or manner. How he contorted the ingentem hostem. So you can say with, oh, this is a V in your textbook. Validis viribus. And this is not men because it was sending this third declension. This comes from vis, V-I-S. So he contorsit the ingentem hostem with validis viribus into, because latus is a direct, is a accusative case, into latus and into the curvum alum of the fairy. One R makes this the beast, the wild thing. Compaginibus. And that's an ablative case, so you have to provide a preposition for that. Stette ille tremens. So ille tremens is your subject. And since ille is the machina that's mentioned up above, you would say it. Stettet tremens. And here we have an ablative absolute. And with utero recuso, having been recusoed, the kaiwe kawirnai. And yes, that can be translated hallow hallows, but you might want to change one of those to a different word. Insonera and gedera agametum. Et sifata of the deum. Excuse me. If mens non liva fuisit, this is had been. This is an alternate form for, instead of using the subjunctive, they just use the pluperfect here. We still want to translate, he would have impulerated them. Them is implied, it's not actually there. To fodera the argolicas, and again, these are another word for the Greeks. Latebras. The latebras are argolicas with or by Pharaoh. Two R's make it the element, which is exactly Pharaoh is a replacement for the word sword, but let's use the word that is actually there. And Troya nunc would start it, and the arx alta of Priam monedas. Make sure you check the ending on the monedas. It's very specific.